Hey y'all, in this video, I am going to remake the Alien Sky doll. I'm going to show you how I did the hair, how I did the eyes, the mouth, the beard, and then all the other little details. So I already have these body parts made. This is from my basic body pattern. It's the regular head with the hair color change, arms, legs. So I made this with a light tan for the shirt, a darker tan for the pants, brown for the shoes, the flesh color of course, and then a very dark brown for the hair, because when you brush it out, for whatever reason, it gets a lot lighter, and I wanted to make sure that his hair stayed nice and dark. Here are the other supplies you're going to see me use in this video. The first thing I'm going to do is add the hair. I'm going to set the arms and legs aside. I'm going to add all the hair, and then I'm not sure what order I'll follow, but I'll probably add the arms and legs and then do the face, and then do the final finishing touches on the hair. So take a tapestry needle, a long strand like this, and I've already done a couple, but what we're going to do is go through a stitch like that, pull it out, pull those ends through that loop. Then I'm going to put this end on my tapestry needle again, go into the stitch right next to it and out where I want that strand to go. So for this hairstyle, all the strands are going to go right here in this first row, second, third, and a little bit back here. Also this front row on the side, and a couple of strands will go in the back underneath the ear. So I'll show you on this doll where I added the hair. Right here on the sides, underneath the ears, and mostly these first couple of rows and a few in the back. And I left this pretty thick and long so that I could just fold it back. Now I'm going to unravel the strands. Here I'm using a tapestry needle, but you can also just use your fingers. And you don't have to do this part. I just like to do this because I feel like, for me, it's easier to run the pet slicker brush through the strands if they're unraveled. So here's the hair completely unraveled, and now I'm going to brush it out. And you're going to see me pull a lot of fiber out of the brush, but it's okay. I'm going to be left with plenty of hair to work with. But if you feel like it's too thin, definitely add more strands. Now I'm going to straighten this hair out with my own Babyliss flat iron. I'm going to put it on the lowest setting and keep the plates closed for now and just rub the hair against the head.
until it straightens out and it's a little bit more shiny. Here I'm just quickly running it through the plates, but very quickly. I'm brushing it out. Next, I'm going to trim it. And there's really no wrong way to do this. I just kind of snippety snip, choppy chop, just try to not have any blunt lines. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Choppity chop, 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 choppity chop. Here I'm shaping it a little shorter over the ears and longer towards the top. I'm just kind of going in there, chopping it up. Choppy chop, snippy snip. This to me is kind of just thinning it out a little bit. Next, I'm going to style the hair. I just bring some pieces down and start rubbing it against the head. For whatever reason, that works to kind of give it some volume and it kind of goes into place. And I'm folding the front back to create that volume that he has for this hairstyle. And this is just for now. I'll do the finishing touches once the doll is completely finished. This is just kind of for now to get that style going. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the legs and the arms to the body. And here you're watching me push the wire through the body. This is what's going to go inside of the legs. I did make a mistake, but by the time I noticed it, it was too late to redo this part. And all it is I pushed that wire through the wrong row. I should have pushed it one row below so that you can't see the wire in front. And here in a little bit, you'll see when I go to sew on the front side of the leg, or how the wire kind of shows a little bit. I made it work though, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it in there, but it really should have been pushed through one row below. Now it's time to add the belt, where I'm just kind of sewing it through the chains around the waist. So now I'm going to add the eyes, and you can use regular safety eyes, but for this guy I used these doll eyes that I found at Joann's. I popped out the middle and glued them to some felt, and then I trimmed around the felt to where some white was left around the sides and the bottom. So I used my wire cutters to kind of pop that out of the plastic white part. And you might want to wear some safety goggles or make sure nobody is around when you do this, because that thing just went flying. Now that the eyes are in place, I'm going to go ahead and take a long strand of flesh colored yarn, and with a tapestry needle I'm going to add the eyelids. I'm going to go in from the back of the neck and out one stitch to the side of the eye, and then I'm going to twist this a little tighter, and I'm going to go into a stitch on the other side of the eye. And here you could either start the next eyelid or just kind of go out somewhere else on the face. Here I'm just trying to make that strand a little tighter so it's not so loose. I like to add just a little dab of Eyelids tacky glue underneath the eyelid. It just makes me feel better, like, okay, it's not going to go anywhere. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other eyelid. For the eyebrows, I'm going to use DMC embroidery floss, a full strand, and I either start from the back of the neck out to right above the eye, or I just start right above the eye, depending on where I'm putting that eyebrow. And I'm going to go across a couple of stitches, depending on the type of eyebrow. And here I'm going to go ahead and start the second eyebrow with the same strand. But first, I'm going to lift that up so I can add a little bit of tacky glue underneath that eyebrow. I like to add just a little dab of the Eyelids tacky glue because it helps me shape the eyebrow so it's not just kind of straight across. And you'll see once I have that glue down and I pull the strand tighter, you'll see how I can kind of lift it up, and it has more of a surprised eyebrow. For the mouth, I'm going to use a piece of white felt. I'm going to cut it straight across on one side and then have a curved bottom. I just happen to have these little white circles, but if you just have a square piece, that's what you would do. Just a curved bottom and the other side would be straight across. I use Fabri-Tac. I think it works really well on felt. It helps it stick really quickly. I like to outline the felt with this DMC Pearl Cotton number 8 and a curved needle. And what I do is I go from one corner of the mouth to the next. I'm also going to add some tacky glue here, right at the edge of the felt, and that's going to help that black cotton thread to stay in place. Now I'm going to work on the beard. And there are so many different ways that you can add a beard. But to me, this guy's beard is short. It's full, but it's short. So I'm going to use DMC embroidery floss and a curved needle. And I'm just going to go up and down in short stitches all across the face. Next, I'm going to make a necklace with these seed beads that I found at Joann's and some cotton thread. And I googled to see if the necklace that Georgios Tsoukalos wears had any meaning to it, and I found a tweet from 2012 that said that he bought them from an Etsy shop. Isn't that cool? But I didn't find anything else about it. Time to put on the jacket. I made this doll to look like the picture that's on Georgios Tsoukalos' website, thealiensguide.com. He just always seems to be wearing this outfit. There's definitely a couple of different ways to add a belt buckle. For me, I'm using this metallic specialty paper, but you could stitch it, you could use felt. I've done that before. And I'm just using a little bit of Fabri-Tac and putting that right in the center of his belt. To make the Goldflyer pin, I just saved an image from online, put it into my Word document, made it smaller, printed it out. Now I've got some clear packing tape that I'm going to put over the picture, and then I'm just going to cut it out. It's very simple. I'm sure there's all kinds of other ways to make this pin, but this is how I did it, nice and simple. Now for the finishing touches on the hair. What I used, because I have this on hand, is the fray check. I just rub it between my fingers and then I kind of lay down the stray hairs. You could use hairspray, you could use whatever you wanted. This works for me because it's what I have. And just kind of putting everything in place. And the back, you can add more strands there if you want. I didn't feel like I needed any because the long hair just kind of covers that.